The situation on the ground is reaching a critical tipping point as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu moves forward with plans to capture Gaza City, even amid efforts to resume ceasefire talks. This dual approach, escalating military action while reopening negotiation channels, has sparked intense debate and raises urgent questions about strategy and humanitarian impact. But here's where it gets controversial. Netanyahu's commitment to seize Gaza City, a densely packed urban area with nearly 1 million residents, involves a massive displacement and the dismantling of Palestinian homes on an unprecedented scale. Speaking directly to Israeli troops near Gaza, Netanyahu emphasized he is poised to give the final nod to this major military operation. He also said he has ordered the initiation of immediate talks with Hamas, focused on securing the release of all hostages and ending the war, but crucially, only under conditions that Israel deems acceptable. He framed this as a careful balancing act, telling soldiers, "We are in the decision-making phase," signaling that the operation could begin within days once he finalizes plans with top security officials. Israeli forces have already intensified their strikes on Gaza City, leading to thousands of Palestinians fleeing their homes as Israeli tanks approach. Over the past 10 days, residents have faced the impossible choice of whether to stay in their neighborhoods under growing threat or join the swelling ranks of the displaced moving southward within the enclave. Hamas, on the other hand, announced earlier this week they agreed to a ceasefire proposal brokered by mediators from Qatar and Egypt. If Israel accepts, this could halt the planned assault for the moment. According to the ceasefire plan, there would be a 60-day halt to hostilities. During this time, Hamas would release 10 live captives and 18 bodies, while Israel would free roughly 200 Palestinian prisoners in exchange. Following this provisional truce, both sides would enter negotiations to establish a lasting ceasefire, including the eventual return of all remaining hostages. However, critics argue that Netanyahu's simultaneous military escalation and talks signal a very different reality on the ground. Marwan Bashara, senior political analyst at Al Jazeera, described this as negotiating under fire, emphasizing that even as talks commence, intense fighting and displacement continue unabated. He warns there will be no pause in the violence or genocide, highlighting Israel's dominant position supported by Washington, which appears to grant a green light to continue its operations without compromise. This raises an uncomfortable question for observers. Can genuine negotiations happen when one side controls every aspect of the battlefield and the political narrative? Since dawn, Israeli attacks have claimed at least 48 Palestinian lives across Gaza, including 16 civilians seeking aid at humanitarian distribution centers targeted in shootings. Meanwhile, the Palestinian Health Ministry has reported 2 more deaths by starvation within 24 hours, bringing the total number of hunger-related fatalities inflicted by the blockade to 271, including 112 children. These chilling figures reveal the dire consequences of the conflict, extending beyond the battlefield to a humanitarian catastrophe. The prospect of a renewed Israeli offensive threatens to deepen this crisis. The United Nations agency responsible for Palestinian refugees, UNRWA, estimates that 90% of Gaza's population has been displaced so far. The deterioration of emergency shelters is accelerating, and any further forced evacuations will only exacerbate an already catastrophic situation. Palestinian authorities have condemned Israel's push to take Gaza City as effectively a death sentence for those trapped within. The Palestinian Ministry of Health has spoken out against what it calls attempts by Israel to relocate limited medical resources to southern Gaza, warning that this would undermine the fragmenting health system and put over 1 million people at severe risk. This raises serious concerns about access to essential care for the wounded, sick, and vulnerable during an intensifying conflict. Within Gaza City, families remain divided and desperate. Some are fleeing to shelters along the coast, others moving south or to central areas despite the dangers. As Rabah Abu Elias, a 67-year-old father of 7, puts it, survivors face a grim dilemma. It's a bitter, bitter choice, to die at home or to leave and face death somewhere else. Survival feels uncertain as long as this war drags on. His words underscore the human toll behind the headlines. Adding to the tragedy, Israeli airstrikes destroyed a tent camp in Deir el-Balah, a central Gaza location sheltering many displaced individuals. Residents recounted how warning calls gave them just minutes to gather what they could before the assault. Now, families sift through the wreckage of their few possessions in heartbreaking scenes. One man, Mohammed Khalut, displaced from northern Gaza, questioned the repeated displacements haunting civilians. "We are civilians, not terrorists. What harm have we or our children done to deserve this?" This unfolding crisis compels us to ask difficult questions. How can negotiations be genuine if initiated amidst relentless military pressure? Are the humanitarian costs justified by strategic goals? When an operation leads to sweeping displacement and destruction, who bears responsibility for protecting the innocent caught in the crossfire? The complexity and controversy surrounding Netanyahu's dual approach demand honest reflection and open dialogue. What do you think? Is there a path to peace here, or is this cycle doomed to repeat with even greater suffering?